Hello everyone, welcome to episode 6 of the Stormworks guide. So today you can see I'm at a new location. This is the starter helicopter, the Coast Guard outpost, which is mostly used for spawning helicopters. Now, today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be teaching you how to make a very basic helicopter, how to start one off. And also I just want to show you guys just some tips and tricks with helicopter control and stuff like that. Now what we want to do first off is find an engine, and I typically like building my helicopters around the engine. Now, if you want a small helicopter, a big one, whatever, that's up to you. This is what you got to think about. You got to think about how big your engine's going to need to be. You're also going to have to think about, okay, what sort of layout do you need? What sort of utility are you going to get out of your helicopter? Because if you're starting off with a small little helicopter, well, just use a small engine. But if you want something that's going to carry like 15 people and you, and then be able to take cargo, you might end up wanting a couple medium engines. So first things first, build an engine and then work around that. I'm going to build a modular engine. You guys can use a normal engine if you want. It doesn't make a difference. I'm just going to start that off and then I will get back to you guys once I've built that. Okay, so we've got our engine here. This is just a flat 8 that I've built. I haven't hooked up any logic yet, obviously, and look, we'll do that soon. But so what we want to do around this first is build up our rotors. So when it comes to rotors, generally as a general rule, you'll start off, your first helicopter will probably be like a little propeller on the back, like a tail rotor, and then a small rotor on top. That's what we're going to do today. I will get into different rotor types some other day and how to make those. However, for now, what you want to do is you want to branch out from your engine, and you want to make this, decently long, and make sure you got a little bit of height above wherever you're trying to put this. So I'm just going to put a pipe out this way. I'm going to get a tail rotor. Now, Stormworks is one of those games of trial and error. So when it comes to placing your rotors, rotor small or whatever rotor you're going to use on top, have your big arrow facing forward and then your two other arrows facing forward and right. And that should be all sorted. Now this here, put it on neutral. Blade length actually doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter on the blade count. It doesn't matter on the blade length. But I like to have mine large because it just looks nicer in my opinion, for the scale of the helicopter I'm going to be making. So now that we've got that, what we need to do is put in a gyro. All right, so first things first, the gyro itself. It's actually pretty easy to use. What this is it basically, it takes the output from the player or whoever's flying or whatever's flying. You know, it could be a computer that's flying it. And then it translates it into stabilized outputs. And the way we do this is, so remember, this has to be on neutral. This also has to be on neutral for this to work. We're going to take our roll, and we're going to get that roll value from the stabilized roll. Stabilized pitch. Collective stabilized up down. And then stabilized yaw can go to our tail rotor. Now if this is back to front and it just starts to randomly spin out when you turn the engine on, just invert this. So flip it around on the other side, like instead of that, you'd have that. Cool. So that's all hooked up. Now what we need to do is build a cabin around this, put a seat in, and put an engine controller in. That's pretty much the very basic. So I'll do that, I'll build around this, and I'll get back to you guys once I've got a fuel tank and all that sort of stuff. Well, it is now daytime, and what we have here is our helicopter. It's a bit tall and skinny and a bit snobbed, but in fact, I haven't sat in it yet, but actually the visibility is not too bad. This here I will change for some wedges, and you know, we can put dials and stuff here. But we've got plenty of room for stuff. I could always change this to, I probably will change this to more windows, but you know, it's a start. So as you can see, we've got the engine behind us and the roof. We're able to basically move around in here. We've got plenty of space to put stuff, whatever we want. And it's actually a decently good looking helicopter. So now we can start working on things like the logic. So now that you actually have a helicopter, how do you then go and make this fly? So WNS, this is the standard layout. WNS goes to pitch. We have the A and D go to roll. The yaw comes from, you know, your left right arrow keys. For me it's Q and E. And for 4 is your up down arrow keys, or for me it's left shift and control. Now, however sensitive you want that to be is up to you. However, I recommend changing your up down to sticky. I'm going to rename this collective your pitch roll. So that's kind of the real basic side of it. Then we're going to put a key on. This is going to be engine systems. Engine, I'm going to put this as engine / gyro, because there's not a point that I don't want the gyro on. I'm just going to have that sit there. I'm going to attach the auto hover of the gyro to that. I'm going to just do some other things. I'm going to get an engine controller, and I'm going to hook my own engine up. You guys will obviously want to have your own engine systems, but that's pretty much how you hook it up. So what we'll do is I'll hook that up. I'll meet you guys outside of the hangar, and we will have a look at how to then fly and see if there's any issues to fix. Another thing I'd recommend, if you have a throttle that's set like this, don't set it to your seat, set it to a constant throttle or a throttle lever. Hook it up to your hotkeys, because actually throttle control in a helicopter is more important than you. So do that. Now, obviously, this is not going to fly if you don't have fuel, if you don't have a working engine, etc. So make sure those actually work first. I'm not taking my own advice so far. I haven't actually seen if this engine works, but here we go. So we've got, I haven't even modified my engine controller, but looks like the engine turns on. Put our throttle. Cool, cool. Now I'm holding. Okay, so as you can see, it works. We've got everything on the right side. However, I have to trim out my yaw quite a lot. Get this to work. Like a lot. Oh, I'm trimming the wrong thing. Alright, let's trim that out. Okay, looks like 0.15 is a sweet spot. And we can go up. Now that's at sticky. I can go down. That's also at sticky. And the thing about the sticky one is that it allows you to have to set a constant collective, which makes hovering very, very easy. I might say that this is, so 0.14. That's going to be our rotor trim for the back. So let's just descend. And you'll learn to use the sticky system over time. I'm just gonna... Oh, okay, so I've gone and damaged my rotor there, so I need to make sure that I I get a bit better at landing this thing. That's embarrassing. So, first things first, when it comes to that rotor trim, so you saw we had like 0.15, let's say. So get a function and take away the yaw from your seat and put a function block down. There's our function. The value out, which is your kind of left right for your yaw, out of the function is going to go from there, but the input for the function is going to be Q8. Now, whatever that value is, what we want to do is we want to sit there and go, hey, by default, you're at that value. And then we want to add X, which is the value of, it's the value of the seat, but we want to multiply it by 1 minus that number. That way, we've got a uniform left-right scale, but it's centered on that trim. So that's what we're going to do there. Now, if you want to do the math to simplify this, so for me it's 0.85, and we're just going to save that up, save that as our career heli. I think someone recommended the name Kingfisher, so we might look at some Kingfisher photos maybe in the next episode when we're kind of making this pretty and stuff. Or I might do it off camera and make it look like a Kingfisher. But this is how you make a helicopter. Now, obviously, there are a lot more controls that you want to put in. You want to put in things like fuel gauges, engine control, all that sort of stuff. And you see, as soon as we kind of stabilize, it's like, yep, that's pretty good. That's not bad, isn't it? That's how I would recommend, and obviously you still need to trim this a little bit more, but that's how I would recommend making your first helicopter in Stormworks. It's nice and easy. You don't need many computer assisted controls or logic assistance or whatever. If you're not a bad pilot and you'll learn to fly whatever helicopter you make pretty quickly, you can learn how to fly these pretty well. So we're just going to bring this into land here. We're going to put it on, let's put it on slot 3. And so, you see you can set the trim a lot easier with the sticky collective. That's why I like it. So I'm just going to bring it down, bring down my throttle. Turn my engine and gyro off. And there we go, we've landed a helicopter. And so we can hop out of our seat, and if we were like on a mission or something, we could do whatever. And that'll just spool down. So, that's pretty much all there is today. It's a really, really simple thing that does seem quite daunting, but it's quite simple to do, making helicopters. So, thank you very much everyone for watching. I hope you did enjoy this. I actually did quite enjoy making this helicopter. I think it's going to be a really good little helicopter for our series. And I'm about to get out of here because the heat... Oh my goodness me. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching, and you guys are going to see me get out of here as fast as possible.